Good morning, everyone. This is update for April 13, 2022, day 49 of the war end of the date update. For those who missed, we will not be providing daily updates till Thursday next week due to personal reasons, and we will not be able to respond to comments in the comment section under the videos. Okay, having said that, let's start with our update. First of all, we identified new unit that was brought in on the Russian side. It's called 201st Military Camp. It's coming from Tajikistan, and the units originally this unit was 201st Motorized Division, and the purpose of that unit was to protect Russia from Afghanistan Taliban, basically, all of this insurgency that's going on there. The unit size is about 7,000 service people, and but obviously not the entire unit in Ukraine. So it's possible that's probably about brigade size part of the unit is participating in fighting in Ukraine. At this point, we not 100% certain they either fighting here in Kherson region or west of Donetsk, attacking west of Donetsk. Most likely they are fighting in Kherson region, but it's not 100% confirmed. What we also can say is, which is 100% confirmed, that 14th Ukrainian 14th Brigade was transferred here to Mykolaiv region, and it's covering this gap somewhere between 80th Brigade and 60th Brigade, and trying to push out Russian forces here in Kherson region. In addition, we also noticed that Belarus volunteers moved as well to the south, most likely to Mykolaiv region. So those are major updates. Now we're gonna walk through the front lines to provide additional, more detailed information for each front line, section of front. So in Kharkiv region, it's very intense artillery shelling of Kharkiv from the Russian side. It's we assume that this is in preparation for future attack. There's they try to destroy all important targets for the future. In Izyum bridgehead, situation is the same, very intense fighting, heavy losses from both sides, but both sides are committed to achieve their objective here. So there will be more heavy fighting, but there are no new troops here, and there is no progress by the Russian side. Here in around Severodonetsk, Russian troops are trying to eliminate Severodonetsk bridgehead by attacking kind of like along the Seversky Donetsk from north, and trying to do the same from the south as well. Let's have a look. Let's actually have a little bit look at Izyum bridgehead. So here there's no more there's no new progress here in terms of Russian troops, but we see a lot of damaged equipment, a lot of losses on both sides. So this fighting, every day of this fighting, it costs. It technically it's a stalemate, but there are significant losses on both sides. Okay, let's look at actual situation here around Severodonetsk. So what the Russian side is trying to achieve, they're trying to attack here from Rubizhne towards Severodonetsk, and then also from the south, from Muratova towards north, and they just kind of try to kind of like create encirclement of this small bridgehead here, and that way to eliminate it. Also, what another axis of attack is this road between Lugansk and Severodonetsk. So this road where Russian troops eliminated stronghold number 29 here, and then now they're trying to kind of come from the south, and also that's another creating for themselves another opportunity to eliminate Severodonetsk bridgehead by attacking kind of from the south and cutting it off completely from the rest of the troops here. As always, Popasna is another axis of attack, and but so far there is no progress on the Russian side there. This is just a close-up look on the same front line that we just discussed. And here in Donetsk again, the same. The main point of attack is Avdiivka. No major progress here by Russian side, heavy losses. And Mariupol, there, Russian side captured 25% of this village. They continue attacks, but no new progress, and again heavy losses there. So nothing new here in the area of Vuhledar and Velika Novosilka. So we'll just keep going, and we'll actually look again the same story here between this kind of Zaporizhia Vuhledar line. Nothing new here, everything more or less the same. As we discussed before, it's not on the map, but we believe that 30 Ukrainian 35th Naval Infantry Brigade is operating here. So once we update the map, we'll put it here in this area. But for now, as discussed before, we didn't have time for this, so we're just gonna discuss it. Let's look at the situation in Mariupol, because we're sure that a lot of people heard a lot of news. So from actually what turns out that it wasn't just 501st Battalion here in Ilyich. This is Ilyich Steel Mill. So essentially what it looks like, 36th Brigade was here, and Azov was defending Azovstal and the rest of this eastern side of the city. Here it's still unclear for what units here, but probably as well as Azov fighting here, and essentially basically regular Ukrainian troops were kind of more towards north, because 501st Brigade was here and 36th Brigade were here. So what happened there, and as we discussed before, 36th Brigade suffered losses in the first days of the war, and was essentially kind of split into two pieces. One that retreated to Mariupol, and the larger piece, and then much smaller one that retreated north, where you saw that Zaporizhia Vuhledar line. So that smaller part is there, and essentially then the larger part was defending the Ilyich steel mill. So a couple days ago, so they had about 1,500 troops there of the 36th Brigade, and essentially there was probably internal discussion between they ran so first of sorry they ran out of ammo, they ran out of water, food, or medical supplies, so we're just basically close to zero, and they couldn't put up effective resistance. So there was kind of like discussion within the unit, and it's split after the discussion. Essentially, there were three sides there that decided to pursue different goals. So about 1,000 soldiers decided to surrender to the Russian forces. About 200, with the commander of the brigade, decided to do a breakout attempt, which essentially kind of failed, because about 70 soldiers were killed, 40 were captured. The fate of the commander of the brigade is unknown at this point. So potentially some smaller piece of this breakout force managed to escape, but there's still not enough information to say anything about it. And then about 300 soldiers decided to move to Azovstal and join regiment Azov here, and then continue defense here. So what this really also tells us, that when we discuss this helicopter bridge and supply of ammunition, and because it came kind of to this seaport that was the landing pad for helicopters, so it looks like the most of the ammunition kind of ended up being in the hands of Azov, and there was very little ammunition was supplied north to 36th Brigade and 501st Brigade. So that probably partially explains why this whole situation, how this all happened, and how Azov is still able to defend Azovstal while the 36th Brigade and 101st Brigade ran out of ammunition completely. By the way, there is also parts of 503rd Brigade Battalion somewhere here. So we don't know anything about it, but this needs to be kept in mind. Russian troops finally claimed capture of the entire of the seaport. So, and that's understood that this is at this point the perimeter is shrinking significantly. So this is going to be it's going to be much harder in terms of potential breakout attempt by Ukrainian troops. And that's our base case scenario for the situation here, that eventually they will be forced to do breakout attempt. Because as we discussed before, Ukrainian regular troops cannot relieve Mariupol and cannot do any major offensive to help defenders here at this moment. So that's the situation for now with Mariupol. Azov and the small piece of 36th Brigade continue fighting. Potentially 503rd Battalion is still there. So that's what we know about the Ukrainian defenders. And as we discussed, as we mentioned before, Russian side is suffering very heavy losses while they're doing this assaults. And for example, there was an open concession from one of the sort of kind of like a field commanders on the Russian side, saying that it's essentially impossible to to remove Azov from Azovstal, that they will have extremely high losses that they cannot really afford for virtually no losses on Azov side. So for that reason, he openly suggested to use chemical weapons, basically poisonous gases, to eliminate Azov from Azovstal. Then it was the later. So then this is also kind of, we see that there is a problem on the Russian side. Then the political top on Russian side refuted all of those comments about chemical weapons from the field commander. So essentially, what happens here is kind of like also a problem within Russian side, where the troops on the field suffer very heavy losses, and they don't see that the strategy is working the way it goes. But the political top on the Russian side is forcing them to continue as is. So eventually, it's only the question of the ammunition. As long as Azov has enough ammunition, they can hold it here for a very long time, and that's a big question at this point, right? Nobody knows how much ammunition they have. So that's for now on Azov, and let's move here to Mykolaiv Kherson area. So what we understand is that 14th Brigade moved somewhere here to cover this stretch of the front here, and is trying to kind of gently squeeze out Russian troops. Nothing major. We're also hearing that parts of the 28th Brigade were participating in this small offensive that happened about 4 days ago, and some of them were pretty badly battered in terms of that they got into tactical pockets or encirclements, and they suffered meaningful losses. It doesn't mean that the brigade is in bad shape, but overall, it was that so-called offensive here was was definitely negative for Ukrainian side. It was not worth attempting. And again, this is probably was forced on the troops by the political top in Ukraine. So this is situation right now here. Because the problem was with Ukrainian side is that they hitting it it's like essentially you're taking your fist and you're hitting the stone with that fist. You're gonna get bruised, and that's what's happening here because essentially we believe that Russian side also brought in here 200 first military camp as well. Not entire camp, that's for sure, because the camp is one of the largest one that Russia has. It's a division size unit. So probably here it's sort of essentially kind of like brigade size unit here, which is still sizable and a lot of fresh forces here. So then they can defend this bridgehead for a while. So that's the situation here. And we also mentioned before that Russian side will defend this bridgehead and this Kherson region at all costs because there is a water channel that supplies water from Dnipro River to Crimea, and essentially it makes Crimea viable economically and militarily. And without that water, it's essentially kind of like a desert, with a small exception in this like southern strip of Crimea. Essentially, the north and center of it is kind of useless desert from economical point of view. So for that reason, they're gonna fight very very hard for this specifically this city called Nova Kakhovka, because that's where this channel starts and it kind of goes down south, and then and then it kind of turns a little bit east, and then it gets into Crimea. So this is update for today. As we discussed, we're not gonna do regular updates until about Thursday next week. So please just keep that in mind. Thanks again for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.